for me, you know, we've all seen people where the cup is 3/4 full and they're complaining that it's half empty.
Yeah.
You know, or an empty cup. And
or it's overflowing. They're like, I could be more.
I could be more. And more is never enough.
More is more.
And then we're getting into greed and everything else. For me, if there's 2 drops in the bottom of the cup, that motherfucker's full and we're having a party. And I'm winning. And I'm winning. So don't compare yourself to other people today. Compare yourself to yourself yesterday. And that's it. And get 1% better each day. I always think if you take yourself from 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, you should have read more books than that person. You should have be healthier than that person. You should be able to beat that person in chess. You should have helped more people than that person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, only compare yourself to your old self. And if you could beat that, look back and beat that motherfucker in certain categories, and you're happier and healthier and more successful with your own definition of success, then you're winning. Fuck what anybody else is doing. That's why fucking racehorses have blinders on them. Because when you have a goal, when they have a goal, they're running 100 miles an hour towards that goal. If they look left or right and get fucking mentally sidetracked and distracted by what the other horses are doing, that's when they trip up and they lose the race. Fuck what anybody else thinks. Fuck what anybody else is doing. Run your race, sing your song, go after your goals.
Boom.
Don't worry about what anybody else thinks of you.
It's all about
other people's opinions of you are none of your damn business. Bottom line. The Bridge Podcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Sean Nixon.
Your other host, Jonathan Matthew.
How you feeling today, man?
I had something lined up to tell you, and I wrote it down, and now I'm blanking.
I love
we're just gonna roll
the random questions in the beginning,
yeah.
But I will say that where we're at in New Jersey, May is the magical month of May.
Oh,
this is the best fucking
bring this
weather.
shit up. Yeah.
And if I hear one motherfucker complaining about pollen or allergies or whatever, you're just going to say it's too hot and too humid in the summer, it's too cold in the winter,
it's too rainy in the fall.
Yeah, and you're not going to enjoy May.
May's great.
Enjoy yourself.
Magical May.
Magical May. This May is actually
particularly
magical.
Why is that, Sean?
Comes in starting with Mother's Day, multiple supermoons, multiple eclipses,
super blood moon,
energy portals popping off, super
flower
rainbow,
blood moon,
flower fucking dragon moon and shit. Lunar eclipses I mentioned already, all kind of shit.
I wish I was one of the people who got a say in naming all the shit that we say. Like, who named a super flower blood moon? Some guy's like, I'm gonna name it a super flower blood moon. Like,
they did a good job.
Like the people who named animals. Like, I want to be able to name an animal.
Well, animals make sense because it's just the scientists that discovered it or whatever. With some Latin origins. And
some of them are like bullshit, though.
Of course. It's beautiful. Oh, I got one for you. So let's run real quick, made up off the top of our head, animals that go along with the chakras. Because we know elephant for the root.
Okay.
I already said I'm going out of order. Eagle for the crown.
You're saying eagle crown. Interesting.
I'm going jaguar for here.
Interesting.
Or serpent.
With the Kundalini energy?
Yeah.
I would have said eagle here, just because the sight.
Sight.
I see.
So eagle here.
See, yeah.
Eagle here. Serpent, then crown.
Yeah.
Some type of snake.
Yeah.
Cobra, serpent, let's just say. I'm going lion heart.
That's what I would say, lion heart.
So then I was thinking a songbird or a monkey for the throat? Because like a monkey's like close to a human where you're actually verbally communicating.
Yeah, interesting.
So now you only got sacral.
Sacral and solar plexus.
So is there like a sacred animal? Usually it's elephant.
Sacral. Well, if anything, sacral will probably be the serpent because that's like that.
So let's do that.
Yeah.
Serpent for sacral. So let's go from the bottom now because we got most of them.
Elefante.
Elephant is the root because you're rooting in.
Yeah.
And they're big earthly animals.
Yeah.
Snake is the serpent because it's a reptilian type of animal, so it's lower, but it's also the Kundalini snake energy and creative life force.
Yep.
Right? Now solar plexus, yellow.
Fire.
Fiery. Something good.
Go magical creature and say a phoenix. But,
yeah.
But in the like the formal, which is informal, is like the ram, right? I think is what it was. It was originally the ram.
I'm down with the ram.
The ram.
Let's go ram there.
Ram.
Makes sense with the gold and everything.
Ram,
We're going Lionheart.
Lionheart.
Chimpanzee.
Chimp throat.
Just because I like him.
They're pretty dope.
Eagle, third eye.
Eagle eye.
And jaguar.
Jaguar.
Just because I love jaguar.
Crown jaguar.
Crown jaguars. I love it. So that's made up 7. But guess what? These are the legit 7 laws of the universe. The 7 series continues, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
And we are breaking down laws of the universe. So these things... Right, exactly. So these things are just like constants that we can learn from. All right?
Things that you can observe within our reality that are pretty consistent. Like
consistent observations, which is, if it's a consistent, peer-reviewed, tested observation, that's when a theory or a hypothesis becomes a law in science, because it's just theory at the end of the day.
And there are a lot of theories that are accepted as laws just because they're so fucking close to it.
Relativity, gravity, like you've tested it so many times.
Yeah.
Gravity's a theory, but like we're going with it because it works on this planet in these physics, and we can measure it now, and you measure it repeatedly. Yeah. So we're going with it. So it's the same thing with these. They're consistent enough to call them a law. So go with us on this. All right. So the first one, law of vibration. Okay. So everything is vibrational energy. We know this. Everything. Your thoughts are energy. That's the biggest thing. All right. Like attracts like. Your vibe attracts your tribe. What you're thinking of, the universe attracts to you.
Vibe attract the tribe.
Whether it's negative or positive.
Exactly.
Right? But even physical stuff, this table is vibrating at a density.
You just can't see it because it's so densely packed together, right? If you were to microscopically look at the atoms, they're just...
Nothing is solid in a static state. Nothing.
Exactly.
Even physical stuff.
Yep.
You think about light vibration, sound vibration. We're only observing these through the 7 holes in our face as far as the 5 tangible senses. There's way more than 5 senses, but the 5 common base senses, right? If you were an alien being that didn't have a human being body, colors and sound would be all the same to you because it's just different vibrational frequencies.
Exactly, yeah.
All right? Or even emotions. Like a fear state is related to a color, which is related to a sound, because on a vibrational level, it's all same. That's what I'm trying to say. So whatever thought you focus on attracts that vibrational match. So just to zoom out a little bit and a little bit more in layman's terms, when you're around negative motherfuckers, you feel negative. Yeah. And they play the victim card, and they're like, oh, negative shit always happens to me. And you know how I know? Because I used to do that.
Or like mob mentality is another good example, right?
Exactly.
The vibration of the hive is so powerful that you get sucked into it, right?
Good or bad, though.
Good or bad.
You ever been to a concert, that live music fucking vibration?
Yeah.
Holy shit. When people are singing together, it's the same thing with church or anything else. Like it or love it or hate it. With church, when you're all singing together and feeling that same vibration in harmony.
Even if Karen's a little off pitch, it's not her fault.
It's not your fault, Karen. Doesn't matter. Sing for Jesus.
Sing for Jesus.
Jesus, Santa Maria, Joshua.
And it helps for me at least to envision. And it's just true. It's just in terms of vibration, just not even imagining, but just picturing your body as an antenna, right? That just picks up vibrations.
It's true, though.
Wavelength. Waves are just flying all over the place. You just can't see them.
That's the thing, because thoughts are non-local. They're in a collective consciousness that you tap into. Thoughts come and go. So if you're a positive antenna that you're tuning, because that's the only thing you have in control of.
Tuners.
Is your tuners. Your tuning dial. So tune in, meaning focus on what you want. Don't focus on what you don't want. Yeah. That's complicated when you're cycling through negative thoughts. We've all been caught in the future of looping of anxiety.
We're playing the old conversations or negative conversations.
Been there.
It's like you keep rewinding the movie back to that one spot, and you go back to that one spot, and you go back to that one spot.
You can't see the rest of the movie.
It's like it's the opposite, but I think it was like a Friends episode, which I've only seen Friends all the way through once. But I think it was like Phoebe was like, oh, I love Old Yeller because her parents cut off the movie at the beginning before the bad part.
Everybody knows but her.
So she had a really warped perception.
It's a perfect movie. He runs off into the field at the end.
Oh, God.
That's exactly... So that's right. Like
that's the opposite. Replaying the positive over and over, which is not a bad thing, right?
No, I think that's what we want to do to create our own future, because you have to...
Ideally, you watch the whole thing, and you can pick up the lessons from the positive and the negative.
Yeah, good point. You can't ignore the negative. You have to be aware of it and then focus on the positive.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Because you don't want to repress and push away, because whatever you give energy and think about, even if you're pushing and not even pulling in,
exactly,
you're going to give life to. All All right, so always focus on what you want. Don't focus on what you don't want, and that's easier said than done. But
yeah, we talk about vibration also is like measured as visually as a wave. So when people say, "Hey, we're on the same wavelength," that's just kind of like a term that people use, like a common phrase. But what you're saying is we're literally vibrating at the same frequency. Or another example, and this would be more of like vibration in terms of like connection, right? Well,
yes.
For one, how the internet works is through vibration. Yes. How our phones work is through vibration. But you ever have like, I've been thinking about like Kenny lately, and all of a sudden he calls you on the phone, and it's like, hey man, I've just been thinking about you. He's like, well,
you put that energy out.
That vibration is from both you guys are being picked up.
That's happened way too many times, and you can look up Rupert Sheldrake's work of Morphic Resonance, where he's tested this, like where people are blindfolded and you hold up numbers and they think about it. Dogs know when their owner is coming home and stuff like that, and then they switch up the pattern and they still know, or they'll know on a Saturday. Yeah, crazy shit, because they feel the vibration.
Yeah, David Hawkins too, and you know, when he created muscle testing or started doing muscle testing a lot, had people double blind hold a bag of like artificial sweetener or a bag of vitamin C, like pure vitamin C, and people who tested with the vitamin C tested strong, with the vitamin C tested weak.
Energy don't lie. That's the thing. So people say, fake it till you make it. And that's true on paper. But guess what? It turns people off because you hear the word fake, and they're like, I don't want to be fake.
And everybody's already dealing with imposter syndrome to begin with. Right?
And it screws everything up. So I say, faith it till you make it. Have faith in the universe that whatever you put out there, big trust, is coming back to you. All right? Because we know that everything is a mirror. And the universe is a boomerang. Whatever you throw out there is coming back.
And it forces you to be more mindful, right? Because when everything is being
projected, going off,
you're like, oh wait, I've been sending out negative energy without even realizing it.
Right? Once I realized it, then the work just becomes staying as positive as possible, raising your own vibration in any way you can.
Letting the negativity go.
Good foods, good recovery methods, good conversations, good thoughts, good actions, surrounding yourself with good people, being on your good life path. You ever be laying in bed at night and the same conversations playing in your head over and over and over and over? And you're like, I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep.
It's like, no, you're going to listen to this, and we're going to ruminate and get depressed. All right, this is how this pattern works.
Running again from the top.
Yeah,
over and over and over again. That's not good.
It's not good.
So you want to bring yourself back to the present moment, clear that energy out. That's where you come in with your journaling, where you take that CD that's stuck on loop and you use an external hard drive, so to speak, which is your journal, and put that shit on the paper. Boom. Now you can sleep because you've taken it out of your head and put it on the book. It's that same energy. You've just moved it.
Yeah.
You just wrote it. It was bouncing around in your head, and you put it around.
Yeah, and for anybody who's visual too, that really helps you see it, you know, and separation too, for one.
It's a separation too, because you read it back the next day when you're in a different mood, different vibrational frequency. You're like, the fuck is wrong?
Yeah, that's like that tip. Like if you are upset with somebody, you write that angry letter, then you keep it in the drawer, and the next day you like rip it up. You know, just get out there. You know, or you send it.
That's one of Trump's great lines, because like him or hate him, he's fucking hilarious. But this isn't even hilarious. This is good advice. The one thing that on paper, he didn't do too much bad, but people always make fun of him for mean tweets, right? Yeah. This isn't political, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Mean tweets, whatever. He said, yeah, I get so fired up and I click send and then you can't unsend. He goes, back in the day, I used to write letters at night when I was all fired up, long letters, and just put it in the drawer. And then the next day you would reread it, and he goes, 90% of the time I never sent it. So I got in less trouble. He goes, so now
the 90% he did send.
And he goes, I regret a lot of them, just the wording of it. He goes, I still stand by what I say and feel, which was awesome. Like the way he said it was really articulate. He was like, I stand by what I said and felt, but I didn't word a lot of things very well, and it was because you can't unsay. You can't once you pee in the pool, you can't get the pee out.
Yeah, exactly.
On the internet. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot to do that. Yeah.
It really does. All right, so always focus on what you want, and have faith in the universe. Believe in yourself. Next, the law of relativity. The nature, the value, the quality of anything is only measured in relation to another person, place, or thing. So our example last time was like, if the average height of women is what, 5'3", 5'4", a 5'10" woman, you would say that that's tall, relatively. Then she stands next to a WNBA player that's 6'4", and you're like, oh shit, she's not that tall. But you just said she was tall. Everything is relative.
Yeah, so, like if you're 5'10" is tall, is normal for a guy in some places, but it'd be short for somebody in the Netherlands, right? You know?
Or oh, it's a long drive to New York City. It's so far away. Like, how far away is the moon?
Yeah, exactly.
It's only relatively
right.
far.
Yeah.
Whatever, that was a fucking stupid example.
But it's true.
It's because everything is...
Because literally everything is relative, right? You're only there because I'm here.
And that's it, and it's just perspective.
Yeah.
So moving yourself physically, you get a different perspective. So what we're saying is shift your mindset to get a different perspective.
Yeah.
So this is we're talking about the victor mindset versus the victim, all right? And I always mention abundance mindset versus scarcity.
Yeah.
This is not a zero-sum game. There's plenty of fucking wealth, resources, love for everybody, all right? So people have a tendency to compare themselves to other people and situations and, oh my God, everything could always be worse. If you stop and think, and there's more of a lesson in gratitude.
Yeah.
If you stop and compare yourself to something, oh, something bad happened to me. I had to wait in line at Starbucks for 20 minutes. My whole day's ruined.
The agony.
There's kids in Africa with no shoes and no clean water, for example.
That's that common phrase, like, there's starving children in Africa. Eat your food because you're not hungry, but it's
and
not.
And that's a mother trying
incorrect.
to give their children perspective.
Some perspective,
because when you're a child, you don't know. So they use like a myth or an analogy and an example to get the point across of, oh shit, somebody else has it worse. I better suck up my bullshit.
Yeah, that's why I always reference Man's Search for Meaning and Viktor Frankl, because like everybody's complaining now. The guy was in a Nazi, which is kind of
it's an extreme example.
An extreme example that most people on the planet can't
relate to.
Can't relate to, but agree upon that did happen. So it's like one thing we're all on the same page about. That was like one of the worst things in recent history.
I mean, there is Holocaust deniers, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, but which is another whole topic of like history and like 100 years. Well, 100 years from now, who's going to know?
History is a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, keep going with the Viktor Frankl. I just wanted to say the word Holocaust denier because it's hilarious.
but yeah, like his famous quote is, at the end of the day, like man has, the last of man's true freedoms is to choose one's own way.
That's it. Freedom is in your head and your heart.
Choose your own perspective.
Not because somebody has you in a cage, because most cages, quote unquote, that you think you're in are self-imposed prisons. And that's room.
It's safer to be in a cage than it is to go out.
You're in a prison when the door's wide open. A lot of times. I don't want to go. And you don't want to go because you're clinging on.
It's like, you ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? No?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's a very, very good movie and sad movie.
Yeah.
But Jack Nicholson, spoiler, Jack Nicholson gets sent to this kind of mental institute and he seems like a normal guy, but just a little eccentric and a little potentially just kind of wacky.
At the beginning of the Joker, which you didn't see.
Yeah, no. But he's there, and there's definitely some people who are very mentally ill there. But he's in the group conversation, and he finds out like two of the people are there, like a bunch of the people there, volunteering to be there. He's like, "You guys are choosing to be here." And it's an interesting thing. Obviously, there's mental health in play, and whether that's right or wrong. But it's interesting, you're keeping yourself in what position, right? Where are you keeping yourself?
And that's perspective.
And relative to where you could be, and the relative to where you could be is the unknown. That's a very scary thing.
And
right?
that's scary. But here's the thing. That brings me to my next point. Don't let other people define success for you. Success is your own definition of happiness, wealth, health, and success. Comparing yourself to this person's more successful because he's a lawyer, he's a doctor, she has more money in the bank, all this shit. That's all mindsets. They're all constructs.
Identity, job, money, all constructs.
And that's games within the matrix. Somebody's not better than you because of their job, let alone their fucking skin color or gender and any of that nonsense. But it's usually job, status, and money. And that's freaking bullshit.
Yeah, because there's somebody who's never ever seen a screen in his life who's going to be happier than
so much happier
a ton of people that are staring at screens all day.
And so many times, advanced quote unquote technological societies go to tribal societies, and they're like, "Nah, I'm good." They're like, "We'll bring you all this medicine and technology and all these things." And he's like, "Medicine? Like we have plants and herbs." They're like, why would you guys get sick and then need medicine when we're good? And they're like, it's cool. You work all the time and you pay taxes and then you go on vacation. And it's like, you vacate your home and job because you hate it so much and you have to pay to live somewhere. We have all animals and plants and trees and we party every night. We have a bonfire and we sing and dance with our friends and family.
Sounds like a...
we're good. Like we don't have Amazon delivery, but we also don't have cavities, cancer, fucking diabetes.
Back pain.
Everywhere. Like we're having fun all day, bro. Like
success. What is that to you, man?
What is it?
Define that for yourself.
Define it for yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people.
And part of that's going to be, deprogramming conditioning. Which may take some time, and it's definitely part of the work.
Yeah.
But once you kind of cleared that out, you can start to reconstruct what it is your definition of success is.
And that's like I always love telling the story where it was like the kid is in school and the teacher says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And the kid says, "I want to be happy." And the teacher says, "Oh, I don't think you understand this question." And the kid says, "I don't think you understand
life.
Bitch,
you don't even know what the fuck's up.
You don't even know what's up, this motherfucker. I'm just trying to be happy and healthy." And those are the things that are 100% within your control. You have personal responsibility, not for anything else. Not that you can't put in thoughts, actions, belief, and work ethic to make money, because you most certainly can if that's what you desire. But point being is, that's not the end-all, be-all of the game. That's one game within the game.
And you'll find from most people who do go that route that they end up being, not most people, a lot of people are unhappy with that.
Completely unhappy.
And people who don't have, they're like, how could you be unhappy with millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars? Because once you get to that much money, you start to see it for what it is. And it's just a construct.
Even scientific studies have shown once you make approximately 70 or 80K, depending on where you live, a year, and your basic needs are met, so you don't have survival fear instincts and whatnot, after that, happiness plateaus, and it's all on you.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know if this is entirely correct now, but at one point I read a statistic from somewhere, from a source, so don't cite me on this.
In a book.
On the interweb, that if you make over $35,000, you're in the top 1%
of the world.
Of the world. So if you were unemployed for most of this, you've made more than 1% of the world, right?
And that's perspective, once again. So zoom out. The glass is always half full. And it's not
if you
full
want it to be.
Versus empty. If you want it to be, if that's your perspective of relativity. This glass right here for me is beautiful. It's delicious. The light is shining on it. It's nourishing
Crispy.
me. It's making me happy.
High quality H2O.
It's high quality H2O. Mama said the water is very important. All right. So for me, we've all seen people where the cup is 3/4 full and they're complaining that it's half empty.
Yeah.
Or an empty cup.
Or it's overflowing. They're like, I could be more.
I could be more. And more is never enough.
More.
And then we're getting into greed and everything else. For me, if there's 2 drops in the bottom of the cup, that motherfucker's full and we're having a party. And I'm winning. And I'm winning. So don't compare yourself to other people today. Compare yourself to yourself yesterday. And that's it. And get 1% better each day. I always think if you take yourself from 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, you should have read more books than that person. You should have be healthier than that person. You should be able to beat that person in chess. You should have helped more people than that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, only compare yourself to your old self. And if you could look back and beat that motherfucker in certain categories, and you're happier and healthier and more successful with your own definition of success, then you're winning. Fuck what anybody else is doing. That's why fucking racehorses have blinders on them. Because when you have a goal, when they have a goal, they're running 100 miles an hour towards that goal. If they look left or right and get fucking mentally sidetracked and distracted by what the other horses are doing, that's when they trip up and they lose the race. Fuck what anybody else thinks. Fuck what anybody else is doing. Run your race, sing your song, go after your goals.
Boom.
Don't worry about what anybody else thinks of you.
It's all about
other people's opinions of you are none of your damn business. Bottom line. Next law is the law of cause and effect. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We know this from Newtonian physics and kinetic energy, all right? Physical kinetic energy. The amount of force that you put into something, there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction of force bouncing back.
You were talking about gravity earlier. The amount of Earth is pushing up on you as much as you're pushing down the Earth.
That's
it. That's equal and opposite. That keeps you on the ground.
That's it. So that's everything. But thoughts are energy as well. So it's the same thing. Equal amount of negative times and bad times you think you're having is an equal amount of good times that are coming. All right? All thoughts are creation. So be careful what you wish for, because you will get it, no matter what you're thinking about. It is coming. That is whatever you want to call it. Manifestation, laws of the universe, karma, what you repetitively think about, believe, and behave like is coming, no matter what. And if you have intentions and work on it, you can get these things faster to manifest in 3-dimensional reality for you. But either way, it's coming, because thoughts are creation. And we'll get into maybe a whole episode on like God consciousness versus like you being God and Kundalini energy.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get that deep today.
That's a lot.
But we'll break it down for you. All right? So, like I said, be careful what you wish for. Everything is cause and effect, right? You're only in control of the cause, your thoughts and actions. So you can get the desired effect that you want every single time. Don't pretend like things happen to you. Things happen for you. There's the old fucking
perspective shift, right?
Perspective shift. Because so many times people do shit and they get fucked up and they're like, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions again.
We meet again.
We meet again. Ah, me again.
Yeah, you bastard.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
You old bastard.
Who's been...
See you there?
Who's been keeping me up all night, draining my bank account, making me feel depressed?
Yeah.
You can't blame other people. It's always you.
What was the cause? This is the desired effect. Reverse engineer, right?
Reverse engineer. Become aware, zoom out, reverse engineer. Wait, I did this and this happened.
Yeah, everything, whether you're aware of it, action or non-action, has a consequence, right? So if there's an effect that you don't like that's manifested in the world, reverse engineer, trace it back to the cause, and then you get the root, right? And
that's pattern recognition. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. Switch your game. If you want something different to change, and you're like, oh, my life is always the same, woe is me. It's because you're doing the same thing. It's not because you're unlucky or bad things are happening to you. It's what you're vibrationally putting out there. And I just hesitated there because some people do get more suffering poured on them. They really do.
Yeah.
But the point of this is, that amount of suffering and quote-unquote negativity is just energy. That means there's an equal and opposite amount of good times coming. And then, I'll tell you, because I've lived it.
You've experienced a lot of it. And then, like in an internal sense, in terms of, there's the manifestation of the cause and effect. We talk about equal and opposite. That applies to your resistance internally as well, right? So if you're trying to break those patterns, right, and you see that pattern, like I keep doing this over and over again, you get angry and you try to attack it, you try to suppress it, that's force, right? That's force against a negative thought. What do you think is going to happen? Equal and opposite, that force is going to push back.
That reminds me of the negative end of a magnet. When you put two ends together, they'll push apart.
Exactly.
So if you switch positive to negative, now you're attracting.
Yeah. So just be mindful of where you're putting, where your energy goes, your attention goes, your energy flows, right? Well, where your energy flows, that's where that force is coming in. So if you're putting a force, again, energy or force into a positive energy, it's going to come back equal and opposite. If you put into a negative energy, create more resistance, trying to attack the thing that's causing resistance, get yourself into a nice whole loop there.
I like it. Protect your energy. All right? Next law is the law of polarity. You can't have hot without cold. You can't have day without night. You can't have male without female. You can't have up without down. You can't have good without bad. This is, the grass only grows because of rain and sunshine. You can't have one without the other.
Water and fire.
And you don't even know what good days are if you don't have bad days, because you have no perspective and you have no polarity. And we've gone over this relativity and polarity.
You talk about also, the middle way in terms of Buddhism and yoga, right? The only way you know the middle is to get to the extremes, right? Which is why the dark night of the soul exists, is because you have to taste that dip into the extreme,
taste the bottom
to experience the high,
before you can taste the top.
Or reverse, or you go high, get real high, and then you go down way low.
Whoa, we've seen that, but that doesn't mean you can't come back up, right?
Exactly, you come back to the middle, right? Is where you kind of be more steady. Because Buddha went and experienced all the lavishness of life. Well, he was like a student.
He was a prince at first.
Prince, experienced the lavish life. Went ascetic, went the extreme opposite.
More than lavish life.
Yeah.
Complete spoils of just orgies. He had a harem and shit. They were bringing him fruit. They were fucking bringing him gold.
Thinking about grapes and palm leaves swaying on you, right?
It was unbelievable. And then he was super spoiled and overprotected because his dad was the king and shit. They were like moving people out of the way to just pamper him. And he was like, this is fucking boring.
Yeah, this can't be where I find the truth, the happiness.
But he was never happy and peaceful.
And so he went, I went the opposite. I have everything, I want nothing. So ascetic, discard food. If you don't know what an ascetic is, it's really, they renounced literally everything except the most basic of desires. Back in the day, they just pretty much had like loincloths living in the woods, essentially, right? He's like, well, this isn't the way to enlightenment because it's just as attached to non-attachment as the attached people are. It's like there's got to be, let me go sit under this tree and think about it for a little bit. The Bodhi tree, found the middle way, created the middle way.
So that's what we're always trying to find. We've seen pendulums swing one way or the other, and the only true peace, happiness, and freedom is in the middle. All right, and that's where, you can't have light without your shadow.
Yeah, everybody wants to only embrace the goodness, but you can't really. How can you know the capacity for good if you don't know the capacity for evil?
You want to focus on positivity and good and light, and you only know that capacity and what you're capable of and what you have to deal with if you shine light on your shadow.
Exactly.
Face that motherfucker.
I think like Jordan Peterson says it, and I think he talks it based off of Jung. But like, who's a better person? Somebody who doesn't know any evil, right? Because you always get those people like, well, that word's evil. It's not my vocabulary. It's like, okay, that's interesting, right? Who's a better person? Someone who doesn't know evil, or somebody who knows evil and chooses not to be evil, right? The one who's more aware of their darkness, or the one who's not? Because the one who's not is just naive, right? They have no idea. They're ignorant. They're blissfully ignorant in their own positivity.
You know when you say a word like treats or something like that, and the dog's ear perks up?
Yeah.
You said Carl Jung, I got all tingly.
Ooh.
Jordan Peterson also, when on his deep dive of the Bible, like we kind of did when we extracted some lessons out, and you know that line that people throw out there where it says, the meek shall inherit the earth? Yeah. That sounds weird. What the hell does that mean? A bunch of weak lamos are going to inherit the earth? The actual translation is, those who have big swords and know when to keep them sheathed shall inherit the earth. Meek. So who is better? The warrior in the garden or the gardener in the war? You got to know how to fight, be a bad motherfucker, know your weaknesses. Know your shadow, know your darkness, work on your weaknesses, look into your shadow, shine light on it, and then turn around and don't project that on everybody else.
Yeah, it'll make your light shine brighter the more dark you know.
That's it. And because like you were saying, if you don't know how to fight, you're just useless. You're not dangerous.
Yeah.
You want to know how to fight so you can protect people.
Yeah.
And then not beat people up. And then know when not to fight.
Because and you see it because I've done martial arts for a number of years, and also being a man too, there's so many people. The people who are the cockiest people who think they can fight people are people who've never experienced the discipline of a martial art and never really even gotten beat up before.
Dude,
right? You got to get beat up to know the capacity to beat someone else up.
The little dogs are the yappiest.
Oh my God! Everyone's like, if I was in a fight, I would have done armchair warriors, right? But it's like the guy who's like I remember like all my teachers I've ever had were like some of the most calmest, disciplined people. They could just decapitate me in a second, and they knew it. But they understood the capacity for the destructive behavior, right?
I love it.
That's what martial arts is: understanding the capacity for the aggression and then using it alchemizing it,
using it for good.
Yeah,
don't be a useless sack of shit. That's not beneficial to anybody.
Yeah,
that's just as bad, in my opinion, on the other end of polarity as somebody that's a bully that's beating people up for no reason.
Exactly.
Know how and when to fight, and then don't, and then know when.
Yeah.
To
I think you brought up,
sword.
I don't know if it was last episode or another episode before, the samurai would not kill somebody if they're angry, right? So that's, recognizing that.
Yeah, take that sacred pause, take a deep breath, know why you're doing something. Doesn't matter, it really almost doesn't matter what you do if you have a why for it. Because if you pause long enough, reflect, breathe on it, you'll get to a good why, or more importantly, you'll get to a good why not.
Yeah, exactly.
Why I shouldn't have fucking done that. Tell us about the polarity of like the light.
Yeah, so we talk about, and you can even see in the yin yang too, the black and the white. The white's in the black is in the white, in the yin yang symbol, right?
Equal and opposite
the
parts.
symbol. But on the light spectrum, you have on the farthest end of the visible light spectrum, or the light spectrum rather, the ultraviolet, right, which you can't see. But that's the far end. We know it exists. And the other end of infrared, which you also can't see, but it exists. And within that is the entire visible light spectrum. So the two polarities, which you can't even fathom or even realize exist, create everything that you do see and does exist to you.
Rainbow.
Look at that. And then in Hindu philosophy and yogic philosophy, there's something called Advaita Vedanta, which is pretty much the non-dualistic sect of Hinduism, yogic philosophy. And that's recognizing that there are two polarities, right? And then zooming out from that. Because as soon as you attach to a side, you've lost perspective. I think, I forget who we were talking about with, or some of the video of the mountain. Like if you're on one side of the mountain, you're missing out on a whole another half, right? And it's that coin metaphor Steve Jobs uses as well, right? When you see that there's both sides of the coin, and that's not to be on one side, but to observe the coin, that pulls you out of duality, of the polarity of good and evil, which is all relative, right? And sees that it's all one.
It's all one thing. A coin is a coin. Sure, there's everybody's, I'm a tails only, I'm a tails only, I'm a heads only. No, it's
tails never fails, bro.
It's just a coin when you zoom out.
Yeah.
And now we're tying everything together. Perspective, relativity, and polarity.
Boom.
All right. So the next law of the universe is the law of rhythm. All right. So everything goes in a rhythm. Feel the rhythm. You ever seen
Rhythm is gonna get you.
Yeah. Well, that of course. That's classic.
Let's get loud.
Oh, dude, we'll sing that all day. But fucking Jamaican bobsled team.
Oh yeah. Cool runnings.
Feel the rhythm. All right. So everything is cyclical. Okay? The only thing that's constant in the universe is change.
Say what?
Tides are coming in and out. the Earth is going around the old,
Them
orbiting the sun.
or
Supermoons are floating around the Earth and different planets and stuff. We can talk about different empires rising up and falling every couple of hundred years.
Yeah.
We could talk about zooming out into eons and ages and the long count of, because you count days, weeks, months, years.
Yeah.
But the ancient civilizations counted eons and cycles of 1 to 2,000 year chunks.
How do you keep track of that?
Ooh, or
you gotta have some sort of agreement. Like, you gotta be. I track these fucking years. You gotta keep track of this next.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how they did that, but the Egyptians did it, the Mayans did it, the Aztecs did it, the Hindus did it. As far as like the what the hell, in the Hindus, the ages and shit like that. The yugas.
Yugas. The Kali
Yuga.
Yuga.
Now we're in Kali Yuga, but it's like if you zoom out. Everything is cyclical, so all those calendars weren't linear like ours; they were circular.
Which is why, like in our perspective, everything seems so confusing, out of control, because linear, like, just keeps going and going. There's no way to know what's coming next unless you know that it's in a circle.
Right.
You can prepare for the cycles.
Right, like an infinity sign.
Yeah, like the seasons, right? That's a cycle. So you don't go in a winter. Oh my gosh, winter! Like, I didn't sneak up on me. I knew it was coming. It comes every year, right?
That's the perfect thing to talk about.
You just prepare for it.
Because that's what I was saying with ancient civilizations' calendars were circular. It's because they put the north and south nodes. You have the equinoxes and the solstices.
Yes.
And then everything's cyclical within that. Come on, guys. It's a wheel. All right? Every bad situation, just know that good times are coming, because even within your life in a microcosm, everything is cyclical.
Yeah.
Equal and opposite stuff. When there's bad times, just say to make that your mantra, that good times are coming. This too shall pass.
Good to let the good times roll, roll it.
Let the good times go. Oh, yeah.
Right, like that little wheel action going on there. No. Talking about wheels, too. Going to Buddhism, the Bhava chakra. So Bhava means essentially like life or existence, and then chakra is obviously wheel. So if you ever look this up, the Bhava chakra, you'll see this sort of demon holding this giant wheel, and within it, there's different layers within the wheel. There's like animals, there's like people, there's like demigods, there's like big gods. But even at the god level, they're all stuck in the cycle of death and rebirth. Samsara, right? That's what that is, the cycle of death and rebirth, the endless cycle. And up in the top corners, or the top corner is Buddha, who's outside of the wheel, which is to denote like liberation. You can liberate yourself from the cycle of death and rebirth.
He exited the matrix.
He's literally out of the cycle. But if you're trapped in it, you're going to keep repeating these loops and loops and loops, karma. So it keeps you trapped in there.
Karmic loops.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into Ascension, which everybody's talking about. And they're maybe not as close as they think they are when they're talking about
everybody's closer in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost there.
I can't wait. December 21st, we're blasting off. It's not exactly like that. Yeah. But that's basically what it is you're fulfilling your karmic debt, and if you haven't learned all the lessons yet, that's why it's like funny. That's where to tie it back to memes and shit. It's like you die, and you go back to God, and he's holding an iPad, and he's like, you see all this shit you fucked up? Going back again.
Going back.
And then
press
boom,
the button.
that's the thing. Well, first he hits you with the Men in Black thing and fucking erases your memory, and that's the problem. So your soul still remembers all these lessons from lifetime after lifetime, but your new ego and new human body don't remember shit, and you're a baby and you gotta learn everything all over again.
So God is Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith combined?
At the same damn time. That's polarity.
Would you look at that? that is polarity.
That's the yin-yang sign that we talked about before, right? So
cycles.
Everything is cyclical. When you're having a bad time, know this too shall pass. Good times are coming. You can repeat that to yourself. We were talking before about the NET technique therapy and whatnot. Yeah. Repeating affirmations to yourself that everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right.
I'm telling you, we got to get an album for you.
We are, dude. I can't stop, man.
You sing on every single episode.
Bro, music is the best because I can't stop loving life,
I can't stop love.
I can't stop my love.
It's like what is speaking of rhythm, just related to music, because I was always somebody who didn't like my voice because I had some speech issues too. And
me either, but I'm just going to give a fuck.
Yeah, right. Well, very different personality.
What, somebody going to make fun of me? Oh.
Yeah. And then
I can't wait for the comment section like, you actually don't have a good singing voice. It's like, oh, it's off key. Like, guy, I'm fucking joking around here. And here's the difference. I'm loving life, and you're hating people in the comment section.
That's his definition of success. Is his own
Bro,
voice.
I'm winning, baby. That's the thing.
It's like an elf, though. It's like when he hears Zoe Deschanel sing in the shower. And he goes in, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just heard you singing. It's really nice." She's like, "Shut up, I don't like to tell my own voice." She's like, "Singing's not hard. Like everybody can sing. It's like it's just moving your voice up and down."
I'm singing. That's perfect. And then she felt better immediately because she's like, "Oh,"
and she's an actually great singer.
I'm better than him, and not only that. Objectively, he kind of stinks at singing, but he was brave enough to do it. Yeah. So now I feel better, and we're bonding together.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada boom, bada bing. That's a beautiful story, man.
Elf.
The rhythm is gonna get you. Were you singing that earlier?
Yes, I was.
Was that in the mic check?
That would have been you. Oh, no, that was me.
You see? Because I'm always singing and dancing, because life is a game, man. And when you zoom out enough, oh, man, what's the roomie? We've gone way too long without quoting.
Without quoting a roomie, right.
The gods laugh at what humans mistake
for their own
I fucking
suffering.
Totally...
I don't have my
this shit, it's essentially, let me paraphrase because fucking Rumi's too good and I'm butchering it, but it's like all the things that you think is suffering and you're crying about, when you zoom out far enough, you just laugh at. You ever laugh
when
at
you
your
wake
old
up, you
stuff?
realize all your suffering was, was just,
which games and jokes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So now that I know that our souls are eternal and this is just a game, why wouldn't I have as much fun as I can?
And when I say game, I don't mean trivial, as in like the suffering doesn't feel real, but illusory.
Oh, no,
it's
real.
Illusory.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a difference there, right?
The Grand Illusion.
The Grand Illusion. Which isn't, I think that's the album of Styx, if you listen to that.
Wow.
Come sail away.
Come sail away. Come sail away.
The last line of that song?
I don't remember.
You don't remember the last line?
No, but it
goes into that crazy solo.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
I remember.
like, oh, fuck.
We need a damn laptop.
Damn it. I'm messing
we
up.
need producers here, yeah. But that just reminded me of like games within the game. You ever played Monopoly and get all fired up? And that money's not even real. And guess what? All the pieces go back in the same fucking box.
One friend flips the table.
And then people set up hierarchies and you play chess and there's pawns and the king is better and the queen does this and the rook does. They all go in the same fucking box at the end of the day. And it's just a game, and then somebody else opens the box and you play again. It's different outcomes.
Or you're playing World of Warcraft and then someone kills your imaginary pixelated character and you just smash your keyboard over and over
Smash!
Again. I spent 6 months building a character.
And you get
That's cool, bro.
Games, guys. Games. Have fun. The suffering is inevitable, so why not have as much fun as you can? Cause and effect. We're looping all these together. Everything is connected.
Loop-de-loop.
Last one. Last but not least. This is one of my favorites, which is funny to say because they're all.
You said that for every single one.
I know. Because I fucking love life, dude. The Law of Transmutation. Energy moves in and out of physical form all the time. We're going to do a whole episode soon on like empaths and soaking in other people's negative energy because we all, and don't take it for granted when you soak in people's positive energy. Be around some people, you're like, wow, I fucking feel better. I'm so attuned to being an empath and different energies that I'm so grateful when people do give off light and good energy, and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. I tangibly feel it.
Yeah.
And what's cool is you don't even have to be in the same physical space. It's amplified if you're in the same physical space, but it can be completely somebody you've never even met digitally and whatever. But we've also seen from the news, from toxic people around you, soaking up negative energies. And that shit's got to transmute and move through you because emotion...
Don't ring up that sponge.
Oh, it gets real soggy in this motherfucker and moldy. Emotion is emotion. That's energy in motion. Energy is always moving. Everything is vibration. We already talked about this, right? So energy moves in and out of physical form. You ever heard of water? It's goddamn delicious. Water? Is that New Jersey shit?
No, I think it's Boston or Central PA, Wisconsin. I think water's Philly, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Philly for sure. Maybe even like some Baltimore shit.
Yeah.
Maryland shit.
But water, we talk about transmutation, right, is the changing of material to a different form, right? Changing of forms, right?
It's magic.
So you brought up water. We've got some high-quality H2O in a liquid state here. Interesting.
Water is the liquid state. Steam is the gas state.
Yeah.
Ice is the solid state. It's still H2O. It's the same molecules. It's the same compound. It's a different energetic state.
And then bringing that into the elements, which we talked about before, right? The earth, water, wind, and fire. So we have earth as your ice cube, your solid, right? You have water, which is your liquid water. You have gas, which is your air. And fire, which is the release of energy, which changes the ice to water, which changes the water to gas.
Fire melts the ice, turns it to liquid. That same fire heats up the steam, changes it to gas. Heats up the water to turn it into steam.
Yeah.
Which changes. So alchemy is a process of heat.
Yeah.
And changing that same energy into different physical forms.
Yeah.
All right. So the water cycle is our example. But guess what? Thoughts are creative energy. So anytime you get a thought or an emotion, you transmute that motherfucker into something else.
Break it down.
Break it down.
Make it back up.
Break it down, right? If you remember that anytime you're feeling something shitty, that's just a ball of energy. And we know that everything is equal and opposite reaction. So you sit with that long enough, you don't ignore it and push it and sweep it under the rug, because that's not a good idea. You feel that motherfucker. And then you say, okay, what can I do with this now? And sometimes you got to just push it out, and you got to exercise, you got to meditate, you got to take a cold shower, you got to shake yourself off and disperse it and get it out of you. Like our Reiki homies understand that when you move somebody's energy. Shamans always have to do clearings type of stuff after the fact.
Animals be shaking off energy.
Animals shake stuff off. This is super important stuff. Like, quick example, like if an antelope gets away from a lion and doesn't get eaten, they do like a little shake deal. That's getting that negative energy out. They don't hold on to it. They don't have attachment and ego.
Zebras don't get ulcers, bro.
Zebras don't get ulcers because they don't play the same fucking song over and over again in their head and rewind that negative movie over and over again. They keep it moving. They have a fight or flight response. Stress hormones get secreted, and then they go about their day.
Then it's back to rest and digest.
Back to rest and digest, and you're chilling all day. One of the coolest, it's not even a meme, just like a little line is, from me, my perspective, is the biggest flex is a calm nervous system. Because I'm always so fiery that the coolest shit for me is, yeah, dude.
Just getting
Goose Fraba and the Woosah
yeah.
and all that fucking Om shit.
Yeah.
That's where my win is at. Because fire is only as big as you got enough lighter fluid for that motherfucker. Or wood on the fire, or whatever it is.
Yeah, match in your stick, wick in your candle.
That's it. Got a nice wick and candle for you.
And transmutation, too, that's based off of alchemy, like we mentioned. And some really cool symbology from alchemy. If you look at like the old Hermetic texts, you'll see a lot of... There's the Ouroboros, which is like the serpent eating its own tail. Or sometimes it's two serpents eating each other endlessly. We're talking about rhythm and cycles. But there's also a lot of symbolism with the salamander. You think salamander in like the modern world is like an amphibian, right? So it's water and earth, but in the sacred text, it was a symbol of fire, right? And that purification that comes with fire. Transmutation, example, trees in the woods, right? Slash and burn technique, you ever heard of that?
Yep.
So you slash down the wood, burn it, becomes ash. The ash fertilizes the soil. You just successfully transmuted solid with fire into another solid, and then different form. And now it's in the soil. So that's decomposition, right?
Hell yeah, it is.
That's life and death. It's transmutation.
Oh my god, that's beautiful. That's why you got a fucking microphone. You're the best in the business. All right? Here's the deal. Thoughts are energy. You create your own reality with your thoughts. The universe organizes itself according to your thoughts. Whatever you think and believe is your reality. And we can name a million different examples of this shit. People that think negative... People think they're going to die from a virus with a 99.97% survival rate. The facts are right there, yet they choose to believe and live in a state of fear and wear 3 masks and drink hand sanitizer, and they got a fucking poster of Fauci on the wall, and they fucking watch Pornhub with Bill Gates and fucking touch themselves and all these things. And they're living in a state of fear, and that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that you drag yourself into their state of fear and hate them. That's on them. Who cares what?
And the flip side, if you're afraid of the vaccine the same way, or you're being fear-mongered that way, you're on the coin, right? You're on the head or the tails. It doesn't matter. You're on part of the coin.
The same vibrational frequency. Fear is fear. Energy is energy. It doesn't matter. Zoom out, rise above that shit. Whatever you believe is your reality. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your actions manifest whatever you desire into physical form. So you are 100% in control of your future. You are 0% in control of outside circumstances and what other people do.
Yeah.
But you can always transmute your thoughts, reenact different, call upon different feelings, get different habits and belief systems, and take action steps to manifest whatever you want. That's what manifestation is. Thinking the same thought that you want over and over again, believing that it's already yours, feeling gratitude for it, and then taking the action steps along that path. And the universe will provide.
Yeah, and the 3 steps to alchemy are preparation, so knowing what you're working with, deconstructing what you're working with, and then knowing what you're reconstructing. So there's a bunch of different steps. Preparation, just getting in the energetic state, if you're talking in terms of manifestation, because you can say the same words from different energetic states and lead to different things, right? Like ego attached, depressed, desiring, John, I want a lot of money. Where am I manifesting from?
A state of lack, not enough money.
Yeah, from an ego, too.
So now your brain hears, your subconscious hears, I'm not enough, I'm poor, oh my God, I can't manifest a good future, I just have to survive.
Yeah.
That's not what we want. We want abundance. We want to be grateful for what we already have.
Like Abraham Hicks calls it the vortex, which is just a fancy term, but you're just essentially getting in a connected state to unity consciousness. Because unity consciousness can manifest whatever. It's literally fucking unity consciousness. An identity that's a construct can't manifest shit because it's a construct. It is a manifestation, right? Like,
yep.
So
and this unity consciousness that you talk about, that's anywhere you see in the Bible when they say omni, omnipresent, omni-God, all these things. Same. Unity. Only different.
Yep.
That reminded me of like rolling a joint. You get preparation, you get your shit out, you break it down.
And you
roll it up into something new.
And then you burn it.
Come on, guys. Learning lessons here.
And then 5.1 becomes a smoke. The smoke goes in, you exhale. So there's
now you just change
multiple
your
layers
vibration.
of transmutation happening there, yeah.
Raise your vibration, all right? Create your own future by manifesting with your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and your actions. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Create your own reality. Step outside the matrix. Love yourself, love your neighbor. We'll see you next time.
Deuces.
Peace.